welcome to this week's Bulldog Blitz. I'm Matt Rhinesmith. The women's swim team recently wrapped up their season with the conference meet in Milwaukee. I'm joined in the studio by Coach Maurice Stewart and sophomore Lauren Lambrick. How are you guys doing today?
Doing well.
Good. Just wanted to get your thoughts on the conference meet as a whole, both you, Coach, and Lauren. Coach, we'll start with you.
Well, I thought that going into the conference championship, girls were really excited, a lot of spirit, good preparation going into it, and as we got to the conference meet, overall I thought it went very well for us. We had 85% season best times. Good.
Lauren, from a swimmer's perspective, how did it go for you?
I would say we did very well. Relays, we were right on pace with many of the school records, and like Mo said, we had 85% season best times. A few of us had lifetime best times, and I think one of our main accomplishments was our team spirit during that meet was amazing. The way we pushed each other and kept each other's heads up, I guess, it was just outstanding.
It really seems like over the course of the season that, especially with those 5:30 a.m. practices, I'm sure that you guys become a pretty close-knit group. So I'm sure that team spirit was on display throughout the meet and throughout the season as well.
Absolutely. I thought, this group of young ladies probably was the tightest team that we've ever had. With the women's team only, with 16 girls. There's a lot of variety in personalities and character. But I thought they came together very well, and I thought they directed that energy in a positive way to help them prepare throughout the season and at the conference championship.
Lauren, with such a big group on the team this year, who did you guys sort of look to as the team leaders? There aren't any seniors on the team, so was it the juniors? Was it you as a sophomore?
I would definitely say it was our captain, Kyle Johansson. She was one of the two juniors, and she really stepped up as a junior to take that captain role and really show us and guide us through all the practices, because it is hard getting up at 5:30 every single Tuesday, Thursday for 7 months. But she really just did a good job of keeping us positive and really just helping us through such a long, enduring season. So.
Did you see your leadership role increase at all this season, coming from being a freshman last year and then to a sophomore this year? Did you kind of take on more of a leadership role, do you think?
Definitely. I think that myself, as well as Katie Ring and Kathleen Brannon, the three of us really kind of tried to step up as sophomores to help Kyle in that leadership role. With our speed, I guess, people look up to us in practice. And so that really, we have to step up and maybe lead by example and really push ourselves in the weight room and in the pool to be leaders on this team. So I really think our roles increased that way this season.
Coach, with having those seniors on the team, there's an advantage in that the team is extremely young. You had a big freshman class this year. So do you think that the freshmen this year and even the sophomores really kind of evolved over the course of the season and grew more into maybe leadership roles like Lauren was talking about?
Absolutely, yeah. Speaking from, Lauren's ability, she, coming in as a freshman, you're always going through that period of transition, getting to know a new school, acclimating to the academic and athletic rigors that are going to be presented throughout the academic year, maturing and growing as an individual and know what to expect. And I think Lauren did a really nice job, along with Kathleen and Katie and Kyle, that's our junior, to be able to step into that role and play an active leadership part to try to help our freshmen transition. And I think it was Lauren did a great job with that, and I'm sure that our freshmen are going to continue to kind of step up into that, moving towards that leadership role as they move into their sophomore year.
How did they evolve as swimmers over the course of the season? I'm sure you saw an improvement.
Yeah, I think that improvement, having the most regular season wins that we've ever had as a program, with 12 wins throughout the season is pretty impressive. Consider we beat 3 scholarship teams. We beat Valpo, we beat Western Illinois, we beat Eastern Illinois, and you know, along with the multiple Division III teams that we defeated this year. So, you know, I'm pretty confident that, you know, moving forward, that our team is only going to get better. It's only going to get bigger. And, you know, I think with leaders like Lauren and Kyle, you know, Jessica Onswetter is going to be, you know, our seniors next year, along with our junior class. It's going to be really strong, and I'm really looking forward to continued success.
Lauren, as a freshman last year, for any freshman coming into college, it's an adjustment, but you had the academic adjustment to go along with the athletic adjustment. So can you kind of talk about the overall adjustments you had to make just to be a college student, but also a student athlete?
Right. I mean, it really is a balancing act, and I think swimming, as you go through the sport growing up, you learn so many time management skills, and I think that is the main thing when you come into college. Butler does a great job of providing tutors, and they require you to go to study table 6 hours a week. So that really just helps you get the ball rolling on staying on top of your studies, and especially when you go on out-of-town meets and things like that, and conference, we miss class for 4 days. And so you really just have to stay on top of your schoolwork and really just work on your time management and make sure that you set priorities and make sure that school is a first priority. And Mo really emphasizes that. He wants to make sure that if you have a paper due the next day or you have a big test the next day, he'll make adjustments for you to practice at a different time so that you feel ready for that test or be able to do that paper. And so the school, as well as Mo, they do a great job of accommodating for us.
So you never find yourself falling behind in classes at all? Because, I mean, it is a big time commitment being an athlete.
Right. I mean, sometimes there's days where you feel like you might be falling behind a little bit, but you really just have to take a step back, look at the bigger picture, and say, you know, there's 24 hours in a day. I practice 2 to 4 hours a day. There's time to get things done.
So maybe where the team goes from here. You guys have a good recruiting class coming in next year, and a big one at that. Can you kind of talk about where you're looking to go next season?
Well, you know, I think, you know, with the girls that we have verbally committed at this point, with 4, and we have probably another 5 to 6 that are kind of in that final process of deciding where they want to attend. We're hopefully they are going to be attending Butler next year. You know, I think that we're going to have a very sizable class. You know, I think we're going to have a well-established team to continue to move forward, and I'm really excited about the future of Butler swimming and you know, where our program's going to go. And you know, I know we're going to have a great regular season like we had last year. I'm hoping that, you know, our success at the conference level is going to continue to improve.
Lauren, as a junior next year, you've had a fairly successful first 2 years of your career. So as a junior, maybe individually, where do you go from here? Where do you anticipate yourself improving and working on more?
Well, this year I had a few goals of maybe beating a couple school records, whether it was relays or individual events, and also making some goal times for myself, and I fell just short of those this year. So next year I really just want to push myself to reaching those goals that I didn't quite reach this year, as well as also stepping up into a bigger leadership role on this team. So I think that those are a couple of my goals for next year.
Where do you anticipate the league itself going? Do you see a positive trend upwards with the league as well, the same as you do with the Butler team?
Absolutely. You know, this year, you know, looking at the overall depth of the league and the number of swimmers that made it back into the top 16 at the conference championship, really just shows the improvement overall as a league. Multiple events, it took you know, faster times to make it back into that top 16 to swim at night. And Lauren is a testament of that. You know, she had last year she had 1 swim that she qualified for in the 200 butterfly. This year she made it in the 100 and the 200 butterfly. So, you know, I think that we are, you know, we're on track to try to get more of those top 16 swims. That's obviously one of our goals, to try to keep up with the competition.
It's a little bit different for Butler's team in that there's not a men's side of things, and a lot of the meets that you guys swim at include men's events. So that being, you have some downtime during meets. How do you handle that? Is it like any other meet, or is there a specific way you handle it?
I think for the most part, it's it's similar to any traditional meet that you have. I think it gives our girls, and I think it would be the flip side of giving them a break between events. But I also think our girls have done a really good job to kind of mentally and physically get themselves prepared for each event that they compete in during the regular season and at the conference championship. But they also have their rituals that they do, either listen to music or they kind of go back in a quiet spot to get themselves ready, mentally, physically for competition. And so I don't really see it, not having a men's team being that much of a distraction. But it is, having the men's program back my first 2 years here at Butler, I think it created a different dynamic. And that dynamic was really having a good balance between the men and the women and keeping those teams in check of one another. But I think our girls have adjusted very well in the last 4 years. And this year, I think they followed suit and did a really good job of keeping themselves together and training well and competing well.
Okay, Coach, Lauren, thank you very much for joining me. Up next, Austin Monteith is in the studio with senior point guard Devin Brierly from the women's basketball team. Stay tuned.